Desire from truth does not make you hungry. It makes you unavailable. Because once you've felt something that feels true, everything half alive starts to feel incredibly draining. It's not you getting too picky or difficult. That's just what it looks like to finally be honest. You stop craving the people and the things that you used to. You stop chasing what you once called security. And suddenly it becomes virtually impossible to even care at all about things that once defined you. I promise it's not confusion. It's literally the opposite. It is clarity finally landing. In this video, we're going to talk about what happens after you finally get clear on what it is you truly desire, beyond the conditioning and survival programming. That point you get to when your body viscerally rejects what your mind used to justify. When the things that once kept you safe now feel like walls instead of anchors. And by the end of it, you'll understand how to live in that in-between, when your outer life is still catching up to your inner truth, but you also know that you can't go back. We often think that desire expands us by adding more. More vision, more abundance, more life, more opportunities. But most of the time, before any of that happens, it expands us by subtraction, by removing anything and everything out of resonance. Anything that looked like alignment but was really just maintenance or stagnation. It's uncomfortable because you can't unknow, unsee, unfeel the truth once you've experienced it. And once your body experiences real safety, fake safety kind of stops working. Not that it ever actually worked, but the spell is broken. Once your system remembers aliveness, obligation stops sedating you. So the first sign that your standards are rising is not excitement. It's actually irritation, frustration. You start noticing how certain conversations with certain people start to leave you feeling drained rather than nourished or inspired. You notice how certain environments or routines start making you feel small. How even maybe your self-talk starts to feel outdated or like it doesn't really suit who you are or where you are now. That is the nervous system unhooking from survival rhythm. It's your nervous system literally outgrowing an entire paradigm of existence. So the same loops that used to soothe you now short circuit you. And this is where most people get stuck. Because often we think that this kind of collapse means something's wrong. But really it means you're finally clean enough to notice the difference. I don't know about you, but no one ever told me that when you raise your standards, that automatically involves loss. Because as your truth gets clearer, and this is something that will continue throughout life, as we evolve, as we self-actualize, we become more and more incompatible with anything and everything false. That sounds lovely in plain language like that, but when it comes to our lives, our relationships, our routines, our habits, our narratives, our stories we tell ourselves, the cities we live in, the entire lives we've built for ourselves, even huge parts of our identities, they have to fall away. And you will mourn the version of you who could tolerate it. If we didn't grieve in this process, something would be very wrong. Grief is the sound of your field recalibrating to truth. And this phase is brutal, beyond words. Some of the deepest pain that we can experience as humans, from an existential psychological standpoint. That is ego death. And it is a part of ego death to have your standards rise before the outer world has even caught up to that yet. Because you'll feel disconnected from the old world, but not yet anchored in to the new one, or not yet have your life reflecting back those new standards or that new clarity and embodiment of truth. And that gap sure as hell can make you question yourself. But this is where power incubates. It's not punishment. It is literally a gestation phase. And the silence you feel is not absence. It's data downloading. It's the space between source energy and manifestation. So don't rush to fill it. Let it reshape you, literally, from the inside out. Find ways to be more present than you've ever been in your entire life in this phase. I really like to think of the metaphor, and I know it's cliche, but the metaphor of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Most caterpillars spend from 10 to 30% of their entire lifespan inside of a cocoon, where they literally, their cells literally regenerate into a completely new physical form. It's just something they do. It's just what is. But why does that make us any different? Why are we any different from a caterpillar turning into a butterfly? It's also what we do too. I just think humans, we've just stopped ourselves from our true nature. We've just truly limited ourselves from evolving in that way, from transforming, even though we're wired to do it. It's in our nature. We are also Mother Nature. And if you can just let yourself be through the transition, think of yourself in a chrysalis, you are going to grow beautiful, colorful wings, and you're going to fly to so many beautiful places, but you're not there yet. You're still in that transformation. You're still in the tunnel. So be present with yourself in the process for what it is and for where you are. Because when you're truly present with it, that's when you actually allow it to move you, to change you on a cellular level, on an energetic level, on a nervous system level. And that's required because what's to come cannot be built on the same frequency you're leaving behind. In other words, your future is made for your butterfly self, not your caterpillar self. You'll know your standards have really shifted and that you have up-leveled when your nervous system can finally stay calm in that silence. When you finally sink into it and stop trying to run from it or change it or resist it, but you lean in. When you stop trying to chase connection or distraction just to avoid that stillness or the discomfort, the initial discomfort. When that initial discomfort actually stops feeling like discomfort and the tables turn and everything else incompatible, non-resonant, feels like the discomfort, and actually being in your cozy cocoon starts to feel like the preference, like the comfort. It's like if you spent your whole life finding center outside of yourself in all of these non-resonant, survival-based things, all of a sudden the switch flips and you start finding center within, and you're able to let go of anything else that's not resonant or that's draining to you, because nothing feels more comfortable or home-like than being within your own evolving energy. And this is the place where devotion becomes the new discipline. The very practice of not abandoning yourself just to stay comfortable. And yes, we do that in survival. All of us, every single one of us, we have this like glowing light. And when we come back in, we call our energy back in, and we find our center here where, really is, and where it truly belongs, this light just like starts growing. And once it starts growing, like it starts buzzing, it's like this hum, this life force energy within you. If you just pay attention, you start noticing it. If you stop feeding the old and feeding what doesn't serve you, and you just kind of push yourself to sit in that space really quickly. You start noticing that like sort of humming, that buzzing, and it's like warm. It just feels good. It feels, there's like a curiosity there. And oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. I haven't done that in a while. In a video. That's the best way I can explain it. This is what it is to become. This is source energy, and this is the power that we have inside of ourselves. It's this magnetic, powerful thing. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. And all of a sudden it's like a moth attracted to light in the dark. Like you realize the light has been in you all along. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that sounds woo-woo, but it's really true. And this is that visceral, like a truly visceral experience of what it's like. And every single person on this planet has the ability to experience this. This is what alignment actually looks like. Not a perfect, curated Instagram feed. That's a performance. Alignment is just living honestly and calling your power back in where it belongs. If you're in that liminal space right now and you haven't quite settled into what this space has available to you, here's what I want you to do. As always, we're gonna do an audit, this time on your field. What in your life feels heavy? You'll know. You'll know when things are heavy. Start being honest about who or what needs to go. What can you slowly stop feeding as much? By the way, don't confuse what feels heavy with what's hard, because there are things that are going to be aligned and resonant that also could be terrifying, that could also be wildly uncomfortable. Starting this YouTube channel wasn't easy. That wasn't something that just like fell into my lap. Obviously, this is something I've been building, and I've been putting myself out there and doing something I've never done before, talking about things that I've always been afraid to talk about and be known for. And that's a journey in of itself. So, but it was something that felt incredibly aligned and supported. I felt that humming within me, supporting it and pushing me there. So noticing like it felt light, but it also felt scary. It's going to be like, this is terrifying, but I know where this is going to go. I know this is expansion and this is contraction. Like this is leading me to a higher timeline. This leading me to a lower timeline. And you can feel it. Again, feeling in your body. Like, how does it feel? Does it lead to tightness? Does it lead to openness? Does it lead to more awareness of that life force energy, that buzzing inside? And of course, practice stillness without story. Truly. Sit with what's uncomfortable without rushing to fix it. Fixer mode is just that is a product of Western culture and Western conditioning. You are inherently worthy. We don't need to do to be. Just be. Be that caterpillar in its cocoon, in its chrysalis. Can you think about yourself that way? Can you give yourself that kind of grace that you would give a caterpillar in transition and transformation? How are you any different? Please, let me know. Truly, that's both a challenge and an invitation, because I think that that's exactly the exact same pattern that happens for us as humans. Sure, we don't grow wings, but we change completely. I've witnessed myself change in ways that most people would argue are not possible. And it came from me finally just surrendering to the cocoon, to the chrysalis. And I'm not even done yet. It's a long road, but the transformation is happening. Also know that if it weren't for this chrysalis cocoon phase, we would experience some kind of collapse later when the new vibration or paradigm or life or whatever hit us. We would not be ready for it. This is the phase where we actually kind of catch up, like we integrate on a nervous system level. And repeat this or something like this to yourself regularly. I'm not becoming too much. I'm becoming accurate. When desire raises your standards, it doesn't just change your vision. It changes your vibration. And once your frequency shifts, your tolerance can't fake compatibility anymore. You're not actually confused. Your body's just done pretending smallness feels safe. Let that be enough, because the space between what no longer fits and what hasn't arrived yet, that's where your next level is calibrating. Let me know in the comments below what's one thing in your life that your body can't tolerate anymore, no matter how safe it used to feel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content like this. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.